What's up, kings and queens? It's your girl, Mrs. Night Queen, and I am here with my first gameplay of 2023. So this is the gameplay. So the last video you saw was trophies and all that kind of stuff there. This is my actual first gameplay now. I'm starting off with Edith Finch, guys. I didn't realize that there was a PlayStation 5 free update with it, and I played it before, but you could only get 100% completion on there, and now there is actually a platinum trophy for it. This is one of my favorite indie games ever. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just gassed right now. This is one of my favorite indie games. When I played this, I was so hooked. It's basically a first person story game where you explore a house where families lived, and you basically exploring, getting to knowing who lived there and what happened to each family member. But the way how it's done and the detail should be nice and crisp, even more so with this PlayStation 5 update. So guys, it's developed by Giant Sparrow, I believe, and they also created a game called I think it was the unfinished Swan. I think it was. Haven't played that game yet, but I've heard good things, so I probably will play that as well. But yeah, this is a game that you must pick up. It is on the pricey side right now, so obviously when I got this game it was free with the PlayStation Plus. But if you can afford to get it, or when it goes down in sale, because it does go down, I do see it a lot of times in the discounted and the sales. So I would say get this game. It's a great indie game, and you'll see for yourself anyway. So let's go, get your blanket, your snacks, you know how it goes, your drinks, everything. Let's go, guys. Let's play Edith Finch. What Remains of Edith Finch. Here we go. Wait, forgotten how to do everything.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Alright, just need to adjust my my sound.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do. house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Hold on. Right. Wait. Let me pause. So, this is how we're going to do this. Because I love this game so much, I'm not going to be talking all the way through. Because it's a story game. And she kind of talks as she's walking. I don't really want to talk over it while she's talking, because then you're not really going to hear the story from you yabbering. So I'm going to be quiet for majority of the time. You might hear the oohs and the ahs and the ahs and the oohs, but yeah, I'll be quiet for most of the time. So it's not that I'm disconnecting or anything, guys. Not at all. I am so wrapped in this game right now, you don't understand. But I want you to enjoy it as well, so I don't want to talk over too much. So yeah, hope you're comfortable. Let's get back to the game.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Also, guys, I can't even remember exactly like the fullness of the story. So, although it's one of my favorite games, favorite indie games, I played it ages ago, man. So, yeah, it's just
The table was still a wreck from
jogging
the
my
night we
memory.
left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. After
Let's go
Milton
upstairs.
disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Barbara.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947.
Here we go.
Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
My Halloween candy was all gone. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back. I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Oh my gosh.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
Oh
I
my
reached
gosh.
out for her.
Oh yeah, I remember this now.
And suddenly,
Yeah, I
I
remember.
was a cat.
I don't like cats, guys. So yeah, I remember playing this part.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Where's it gone? Oh.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Where?
jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the
Don't like
grass.
bears either.
Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. It was almost too
Shelfie.
big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Okay.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Wait. Huh? Wait, where's it gone? Come on. What? Wait, how come I'm not getting this thing? What's going on? Where's it gone now? What's going on? Finally.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Please, I don't want to have to get another one now. because that was long. Oh gosh. What?
I grabbed on tight.
So
I
long
was
to
so
get that.
hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Monster. Oh. This is like some worm thing.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
It's a bit creepy. Oh my gosh. Let's go. Oh. It's a bit disturbing.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
I think there's another trophy here, guys. So. Oh, I ate the guy that I needed to wait until he had finished the song. So go back. Oh no. I was meant to wait until. I'm sure I'm supposed to wait until he's finished. I think I'm supposed to wait until he's finished singing. Let me just check. Sorry, hold on. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. I don't really want to do that bit again, but you know what? I gotta play it a second time anyway.
I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
This is just nasty. Oh gosh.
I got closer and closer.
I'll take it. I'm going here.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, that was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
Molly. Wow. Is that what happened, yeah?
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
cool. I'm not too sure where I'm supposed to go
I
next.
can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Don't you dare.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Right.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. I didn't want to jump down straight away. Am I going to get to go back? Oh, I can go back. I didn't finish exploring.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Wow, it looks like she ahead of
The
it.
room is like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
What the books though, man?
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam, Calvin, dinner's ready.
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
That's right.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Wow.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Cool.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Okay. So I'm back here. I can go through here. Barbara's
Growing
room.
up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Ooh.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Or is it knocking on the door? Maybe it's knocking
The
on
gang's
the door.
leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Oh, it's dark in it.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
See, you're lying.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. That's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh, come on, stop it.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was.
Oh,
Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
That's what I'm saying about the stories. Man, this family. Alright, let's have a look. Room. So yep, let's go back in.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Let's go out. So you know where we're going now. We are going to, so we've been in Barbara's room there. We've been in Edie's room here. Sam's room, Calvin. Is it Calvin? Did we go in here? Oh yes, this was the bathroom.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
And we went in here, which was Walter's room, right? Yeah, Walter's. That was, yep. And Molly's. Yeah. Molly's room. He didn't have a thingy on his door. Okay. Let's go downstairs. What is this? Just the library? That's just the library. Yeah, that's just the library. I want to look around the house again. Time of day's changed. Looks like it's drawing.
I wonder if that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
Yeah, we're gonna look at that now. So, keep winding. Keep winding. Keep winding. Yep. Okay, guys. So that wraps it up for this video. I will do a part 2 on What Remains of Edith Finch. I hope you are enjoying it so far. It's not everybody's type of game, and yeah, I have been quite quiet on this playthrough, but it's needed. I think that if I talked all the way through, you kind of not get the story and the feel of it, so it's better that I kind of stay a little bit quiet. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourselves with me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, also pass along to other people who play games and interested in games and indie games as well, because I will be playing a lot of indie games on this channel. I love indie games, being in the design field myself, so yeah. That's it, guys, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.